Video rolling.
I was told to go to Arctangent for a magazine which is now defunct called Bleeder magazine, and I was going to go and do some written reviews about the bands there. I discovered some great bands, and I had my iPad and I thought I would just start filming them. And that's how it really began. I just started to get into the idea of asking people questions about what they were doing and keeping it lively. If you do that, then it becomes less of an intense experience for the bands. They let their guard down, you get really good information. How do I do it? I think I'm quite choosy about the bands that I want to follow, and thankfully there's quite a lot of them. So between, say, Wednesday and Sunday, there's always a band that I want to see, if not 2 or 3 bands. And thankfully, there's a great connection between all the bands. They seem to be all on each other's bills. So even if I don't plan to go out on that evening, I will probably be finding myself at a venue that you're at. I'm not really stalking. It changes quite a lot. This year's been a lot of flux, lots of changes. Finding ways to promote the bands and promote the scene at the same time can sometimes be counterintuitive. If bands share the videos, and hopefully people will watch them and then obviously come to another show. I don't want to put up a whole show of the band, because then it kind of gets rid of the idea that people should go out and see them, you know? So it's got to be said, if people are deciding to not be at home watching X Factor or some other stuff, you've got to make sure that the bands that you're promoting are stuff that's worthy of their time. So yeah, the channel is there to serve the bands. Getting drunk with the right people is always a good idea. That's basically it. There's no true, let's say, way of actually doing this. Ingratiate yourself upon the scene in a way which is humble and obviously serving towards the bands, and people will want to work with you. Approach people. I haven't met anyone in the scene that said, no, you have to talk to my manager. You know, and the few instances of that, I haven't really truly liked those bands in the long term anyway. This is an interesting one. I think that I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing now without it being truly about a commercial gain, because once you do that, you find yourself reviewing or filming bands you don't necessarily believe in because they've got the infrastructure or a place that they're going. A lot of the good things that I like about the channel and the people that I've met is that I'm not really trying to make it. Does that make sense? I'll help the bands make it if they want, but I don't want to make it. A lot of what we're going through now is a recycle period of the 80s, where everyone is very focused on their own gain and what they can gain from others. It's very transactional. So I think people are suspicious about what I do, hence the fact that what I'm doing is quite rare. But I'm hoping that people, like you guys, rip me off whatever it is that you think I'm doing. Do it better with better equipment and more people. I'm making sure the footage is something that they want to be, you know, shared. Like, I don't have a time off. People think that I'll go home and do nothing after a while. But no, I do some creative writing. I have a job in the charity. I don't necessarily spend 100% of my time on the bands, but yeah, once I film it, that's just part of the job. As I'm sure you know, you've got to make sure that you're putting out stuff which represents them correctly, because 1 or 2 bad notes can mean the video not being used, and that's kind of hardcore. I shouldn't be surprised by this, because we didn't put out an official kind of we're over kind of thing. We just thought we'll just slink off to the side. But every now and again someone asks me about the band, and sometimes a fan, so I kind of want to apologise to fans for saying sorry. We're kind of over. But yeah, it was a great experience. Myself and Maxine are still really good friends. Thank you for acknowledging the past. There's this weird idea that you either make it or you kind of fail. And I think my camera is my guitar now, okay. So I'm still playing. Okay, I'm not going to be difficult, so I will mention Nirvana, and I will mention Hendrix, and I will mention Radiohead. But those people have enough press, so check out the really cool bands that we film. I like a lot of post-punk, a lot of like early 90s rock and roll. I don't have too much an affinity for stuff which is too, say, airbrushed. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, without naming names, because I'm sure those bands want to do well for themselves, but there are certain bands that are very keen to be in, say, Elle or Vogue magazine, and yet they want to appropriate the rock and roll counterculture image. Yeah. It's no good. It's not really them, and people know it. Oh wow, I've got one of them on. They're playing tonight. They're called Myrtos. Can you see that? That's the name of the band. Myrtos. There's also the Sly Persuaders. There's Calva Louise. There is Deadwardians. There's Dead Cuts. There's Starsha Lee, there's Shame. I could be here all night, I don't mind. Phobophobes, Meat Raffle. At some point, I'll leave out a band and they all don't hate me. I was under pressure. You know what I'm like under pressure, I just talk. Check out Public Pressure. Check out Clark Kent's Rock and Roll Revue. Check out bands that you like. Check out my face. I don't know. Just go out there, do stuff. Don't wait for the media or television to tell you what you should be taking in, because it's probably bad and right-wing.